Parking on the pavement is often frowned upon, but now new bays have been painted in one city centre, encouraging motorists to do just that.
Well, the painted bays, they're partly on the road, partly on the pavement, have cost Leicester City Council £55,000. And if successful, the scheme could be rolled out elsewhere. Well, in a moment, we're going to hear what you think about this, but first, here's Danny Crawshaw.
It was residents who called for action to address parking problems, but the bays, it seems, come with their own issues.
Traffic warden, when he come down earlier on, as I parked up earlier, he said, "You've got to move the van." I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "You're not in the box." I said, "We can't get in the box. It's not big enough."
The bays are painted partly on the pavement and partly on the road. The City Council hope that'll avoid the problem of a car taking up all of the pavement and allow access for pedestrians and wheelchair users.
It allows other traffic to come through and also scooters, wheelchairs. You know, yeah, it's a good scheme, I think, yeah.
Much better. I appreciate it has been done in a very good way.
I think it's a waste of money because people still park where they were parking. It's just that they're parking in the boxes now.
The bays aren't just being criticised for their size and cost. The design hasn't impressed local charity Vista, which supports those with sight loss.
Cars themselves parked on the pavement create an obstacle. So anybody using a guide cane will hit the car with the cane because that's what the cane's designed to do. And that leaves them open to all sorts of allegations of causing damage to cars as well. By putting any obstacle on the pavement, no part of that is giving more access to a pedestrian.
Some of the residents I've spoken to are quite positive about these changes. Others, though, say the bays are too small for their cars, and they're also concerned if a car's parked either side of the road, there won't be enough room for things like emergency vehicles to get through. Residents I've spoken to say they are concerned about emergency vehicles being able to get down there when one car's parked either side. What would you say to them?
The scheme's been carefully designed and consulted on. We've spoke to all the residents in advance at length. Lots of measurements have been taken to ensure that it is a suitable width and that emergency vehicles can get down. So I'll reassure them that all those things have been taken into account in designing the scheme.
I imagine you have done measurements, but we were there today and a white van man was there. He couldn't fit into the bay itself. Would the traffic warden have a bit of leeway there?
If he can't park squarely within the markings, then we'd certainly look at that, and if that's an issue, that's part of the pilot scheme feeding back and how we deal with that going forward. It is a learning curve.
If parking isn't in the allocated bays from June, a fine will be issued.
It's just ridiculous.
You can't get a lorry.
It may have divided some residents' opinions, but if this scheme is deemed successful along Bramer Drive and Hardy's Road, it could be used elsewhere in the city. Danny Crawshaw, ITV News.
Well, as we thought, plenty of you have been talking on our Facebook page and on Twitter, and we'll start with Ian Thornton from Hinckley, who tweeted to say they're a bad idea. They set a precedent. Council should be working towards eradicating the blight of pavement parking, not encouraging it.
On Facebook, Annette Dunbar told us pavements are for pedestrians, roads are for cars. If a car parks on the pavement, they should be fined. And
finally, Shirley and Bigley said it's absolutely stupid. If I was on my scooter, I wouldn't be able to get through there. You do everything for the car, but not for the people who are disabled. Thanks for all those comments and for getting in touch with us.
We've got some sports news now, and it